Welcome back to the Coaching Hive podcast. Today, we are talking social media. We've been talking about social media for a little while now, but today we're going to keep talking about social media because it brings about various thoughts, feelings, and actions when you hear the term social media, right? You want to be consistent. You want to be focused on the right things in your business. You want to grow your audience, build trust, and explore different ways of talking with your potential clients or customers. And if you're going to do that, you have to make sure that your message gets out there, even if you have an unexpectedly ill child, you oversleep, or you decide to take the day off. This is where scheduling tools come in handy. The problem is that none of us are on all the time. And personally, I don't find that to be a problem. We all have off days or times when we want to and need to step away for a break, or we just plain run out of time. Knowing that you still have social media to get out there can leave you feeling boxed in and worried that the load will never lighten. So let's talk about lightening the load. Let's talk about scheduling social media so that you don't always have to be on, you don't always have to be at your computer, and you don't always have to worry about how to get that post up when you're just tired or you want a day off. So if you're ready, grab a pen and paper and let's jump in. I'm Dr. Mora, and this is the Coaching Hive podcast. I believe that entrepreneurs should not be tied to their computers every waking moment of the day or even every day of the week. When you have all of the experts telling you to be consistent with your social media presence, it feels like being untethered even part of the time is simply not doable. I understand, and I felt the same way. I mean, who wants to commit to posting at 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. every single day of the year? At the very least, I want to take my birthday off. So can we have our cake and eat it too? Absolutely. You can be consistent with your social media without being tied to your computer every single day of the year without fail. In fact, the easiest way to do this is, as you probably have guessed, a scheduling tool. But are all scheduling tools good? Not really. Are scheduling tools the end all and be all? Absolutely not. What it means, though, is that we do have some flexibility. Before we jump into the different options for scheduling your social media posts, let's talk about that flexibility piece. Because the general rule of thumb is that when you post, you should stick around and interact with the platform, be it LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or some other platform. You should take about 15 minutes to comment on other posts, reply to comments on your own posts, and show the platform that you are present. In other words, that you are not a bot. When you do this, what happens is the platform is going to choose to show your content more than people who simply use a scheduling tool and never log in to comment and show that they're active. Okay, so that's my little spiel about being active. Now, if you miss some days, you don't log in to comment and get involved in the platform, that's okay. All's going to be well, but you do want to make sure that you're getting in there and getting active on a regular basis. So I highly recommend that even if you do plan to be in the platform at a specific time each day, go ahead and still use a scheduling tool because what happens is it takes the risk out of something coming up or getting in the way. Plus, it means you can get to interacting that much faster, which means your 15 minutes is truly spent on interacting versus, okay, I've got to go pull this caption, this picture, I've got to post it. Now I have to hit go and I've got to make sure it goes to all the right places. Okay, now 5 minutes later, I can start interacting. And you're thinking, okay, now I need to interact for 15 minutes. Well, that 15 minutes is actually 20. So go ahead and schedule things. There are a variety of paid and free scheduling tools out there for social media. There's absolutely no way I can cover them all in this podcast, but I do want to give you just an overview of some really big ones and some that you may not have heard of that I have interacted with and that I've learned a little bit about. Some of the scheduling tools out there are platform specific and others will do everything for you. The most robust ones usually cost the most per month, but you can accomplish everything in one place. So it's going to be a trade-off in terms of price and functionality. Let's start with the most obvious option. This is one that almost everyone knows about, and people tend to have very polarizing opinions about, and that's the Meta Business Suite. Meta Business Suite is the free native tool for scheduling in Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so you can schedule your Facebook and Instagram posts and stories. Having used Meta Business Suite for scheduling, I'll be the first to admit that it does take some getting used to. It takes a little bit of patience to learn how to use it properly, and more patience when the interface changes. But what I really love about the Meta Business Suite, other than it being free, is the Calendar GUI. So the graphical user interface GUI. I love that there's a calendar in there that I can look at, and I can drag posts around, and I can see exactly what's posting on what day, and if it's posting just to Instagram or Facebook and Instagram. And I can be right in that calendar and duplicate a Facebook post and then schedule it for Instagram a week later. And it can really simplify the process if you're a visual person. I like to see when things are scheduled and what platform they're on. It just keeps things a little bit easier for me. Now, I will say that you have to pay attention when you go in to schedule a post. You have to make sure you've checked the correct account you want to post to. I cannot tell you how many times I have been trying to schedule for one platform and just didn't think to check what was marked. So I have scheduled to Facebook when I really wanted to schedule to Instagram. So then I kind of have to do a little bit of finagling to get that fixed. Luckily, it's really not too hard to change the mix-ups. So all in all, I really do like the Meta Business Suite. It does give you a way to respond to comments right in the business suite versus having to go to each individual post that you have in your accounts, finding those comments and then commenting back. It's all in one big place. You can see the traffic you're getting to those posts in one place. So it really does pull the things together. And best of all, it's free. But the Meta Business Suite does not jive with everyone. And I know that. I have talked to several entrepreneurs who say, man, this is just too much. It's confusing. It's not for me. And that's okay. The beauty is that there are lots of scheduling tools out there. Another one that we have talked about already is Social Curator. So we talked about Social Curator last week. We talked about Social Curator's features and benefits. In last week's episode, it was number 85. If you haven't listened to it yet, be sure to go catch up on it when you finish listening here. So if you were listening last week, I told you a little bit about Social Curator and said, hey, you can also schedule your posts. What I was talking about is the fact that you can create your posts, the caption and the picture right inside Social Curator. But very recently, they have added a new component to Social Curator where you can schedule your posts as you write them. You can connect a Facebook and an Instagram account to your Social Curator membership. And this is a great option if these are your main posting platforms. Now, you won't be able to respond directly to comments from Social Curator, but it does take out a step for you because you can schedule as you create. So if you find that the hardest part is going between platforms, maybe going from Social Curator with your carefully created posts, with the picture, the graphic, and your caption, and then going and pasting the caption, uploading the graphic somewhere else like Meta Business Suite, Social Curator is going to be a great option for you. And let's be honest, if you're already using Social Curator, it just makes sense to go ahead and post from there. In addition to the web browser Social Curator component, Social Curator also has an app where if you have created your drafts, you've got your caption and your picture already taken care of, you can actually post from your phone. This is a really nice feature because you've got your draft there. And if you know, hey, I want to be on Instagram at 9:30, I'm going to go ahead and pick that draft I've already figured out for today's 9 a.m. post. I'm going to post it and I'm going to get right into Instagram and start reacting. So this is really nice for Social Curator members. And like I said last week, I'll post a link in the show notes for you if you want to check out Social Curator, learn a little bit more about it. It does have a lot of great features. Now, for many of you, you already have a Canva account. Because let me talk about why this is so important. Because right now we talked about the Meta Business Suite and we talked about Social Curator. And these only allow you to post to Facebook and Instagram. But what happens if you want to post to LinkedIn? LinkedIn much prefers that you post in real time, but Canva is a solid option for scheduling your posts, especially if you want to go to LinkedIn. And again, if you already have that Canva account, you're already creating your graphics right there. So why not go ahead, write your caption, schedule the post. And I like Canva because it does have that calendar interface so you can see when posts are going to appear in your accounts. Now, one of the downsides, and I'm not sure if this has been fixed, to be quite honest, one of the downsides I've struggled with in posting to LinkedIn is the lack of links. When you schedule in Canva and put in a link, maybe you want to link a podcast episode like I do, or maybe you've got a lead generator, a PDF, a freebie of some kind that you want to link in your post, or perhaps a sales page that you want to drive your customers or clients to. That's not going to appear as a hyperlink in your post, so that's not going to be clickable. But I do enjoy that I can get it done right there in Canva. When I make the graphic, I can just go ahead and get it scheduled. And sometimes, especially if I don't have a link, that's a really great option to just go ahead and take care of it in Canva. So Canva is certainly an option. It does have a little bit more functionality in terms of platforms than Social Curator and Meta Business Suite. But what if you really want something that just has all the bells and whistles? SmarterQueue is a platform that I haven't actually had a whole lot of time to explore, but it was recommended to me by a colleague. They are really responsive with their customer service, I can tell you that. And you can basically link all of your social profiles in SmarterQueue. The downside is that this service is not cheap. It's not for the faint of heart. The base price when you're paying monthly is $29.99. When you commit to the annual plan, you end up paying about $24.99 a month. So this is not your cheapest solution. This is particularly true if you have more than 4 social profiles that you'd like to post to. Let me give you an example here. Say you have a Facebook profile. Okay, we all have those. A Facebook group, okay, or even a business page, an Instagram profile, a LinkedIn profile, a Twitter account, and a Pinterest board. Well, you are already at 6 profiles. That's going to take your price up to about $45.99 a month. Okay. So if you have more than 4 social profiles that you want to post to, that price for SmarterQueue is going to keep going up. I do really like the functionality of SmarterQueue because you can evergreen high performing posts. You can create your calendar based on different categories. And then you can actually, as the name would suggest, create an entire queue of posts to go out. This means that you can batch your content and forget it. If we ignore the fact that the platform algorithm really does like us to show up live and interact when you're posting, man, that concept of SmarterQueue is absolutely brilliant. And it does help you keep track of those high performing posts so that you can reuse them. And you can actually say, hey, post this again in 6 months, because no one's going to remember that you posted it 6 months ago. So you're working smarter, not harder. Hence the SmarterQueue, right? Okay. So far, we've talked about Meta Business Suite, which is free. Social Curator, which is a monthly membership or an annual membership, which also gives you access to pre-done caption templates and beautiful graphics, as well as lots of inside coaching and all the bells and whistles that I talked about in a previous episode. We talked about SmarterQueue. We talked about Canva. I want to share just one more option with you, and that's Hype Fury. Hype Fury is something that I've actually just started using. It is the one that Justin Welsh recommends. If you didn't listen to episode 84, where I review Justin Welsh's courses, you'll want to do that soon. This is who I'm talking about when I say he recommends Hype Fury, because the more I dig into all of his courses, all of his ideas, the more I learn. He keeps it simple. He keeps it actionable. So I really do like them. Okay. Back to Hype Fury. Let's stay focused here. Thank you for indulging me in a squirrel moment there. Hype Fury also comes with a price tag, but it also has a free tier that gives you a great opportunity to really test it out. You can link Gumroad, LinkedIn, Facebook, OnlyFans, Instagram in Hype Fury. So you can link all of your favorite platforms there in Hypefury. One of the things that really intrigues me about Hypefury is the ability to set up retweets. So those retweets will then be pulled off your profile so that you don't have a lot of duplicate posts. And the retweet feature makes sure that what's happening is you're getting maximum exposure for your posts, because we all know how fast Twitter moves. You post your tweet and 2.5 milliseconds later, there's 5,500 other tweets ahead of yours now. So what happens is you can set the platform up to retweet your tweet. That sounded very awkward. You can retweet your tweet, and then later on it'll pull that second tweet back out, so your profile looks really clean. You can also set up your tweets to auto post additional content when your post gets to a certain number of views or a certain number of interactions. So it's really kind of a neat opportunity you can schedule responses. You can do all kinds of really cool things within Hypefury. This is a platform that really does work well. And here's kind of a really neat thing. Their top tier pricing is $49 a month. Or if you choose the annual plan, I think it brings it down to just under $41 a month. With the capabilities of Hypefury and that capped pricing, it ends up being much lower than SmarterQueue. So I know that I personally am going to take quite a bit more time checking out this tool, Hypefury, during Q4 of the year, just to see what all it truly can do and explore all of the capabilities. I'm going to see what I can do on that free tier and then kind of bump up as I explore other options that they have. But I do like that Hypefury allows for a variety of pricing options that really cap out pretty quickly at that $49 a month. Now, we have come to my favorite part of each podcast episode. You know that I like to give you an action item for the week so that you don't just sit here and learn, you actually go and implement, because that is the key to building a successful and profitable business. Okay, so here is your action item for this week. I would like you to explore social media scheduling tools. With so many free options out there, budget should not be a limitation. Okay, so if you tell me, but Maura, I don't have money for a scheduling tool, I'll say to you, that's great. Use one of the free options. There's so many out there. Start with Meta Business Suite. If you already have a Canva account, start with Canva. Start there. See what you can do. Think about the platforms that you would like to schedule. Think about what your budget might be, whether it's $0 or $100 a month, whatever it is. Figure out what your budget is and then start exploring. Most paid platforms do have free trials, but here's my caution to you, because I've made this mistake in the past. I get excited, I find something new, and I think, yes, I'm going to sign up, and it's got a free trial. Great. Even better when I don't have to put my credit card in and remember to cancel. But I don't always start that free trial when it makes the most sense. So don't waste those precious days of your free trial. Make sure that you're ready to actually get in there, try it out, and use it before that free trial ends. So work smarter. I have provided links to all of the platforms that I talked about in today's episode in the show notes to make your exploration even easier and give you an opportunity to dig in just a little bit faster. So your action item for this week, again, start exploring social media scheduling tools so that you can get back a little bit more freedom in your day, in your week, and even take a day off once in a while, or even an entire week. Before we wrap up for today, let's take a step back and think about this month's episodes to date. This month, we've been talking about social media and the process of getting your posts created and actually out there. We all know that daily posting can be a time drag. Oh, can it ever? But with a good scheduling tool, you can easily get those posts out there and set your phone alarm to go interact without the hassle of tracking down captions and pictures each day. Now, next week, what we're going to do is take one final look at social media and explore the truth about social media and business. Earlier this week, I had someone ask, do I really need social media? So have you ever asked yourself if social media is even necessary? Can you get away without it? And we are going to dive into that and more in the next episode of the Coaching Hive podcast. If you learned something from this episode, I would love to see your review so that we can reach even more entrepreneurs like you who are trying to grow their business. So please go ahead and leave a review wherever you listened to this podcast. I appreciate it. I read those reviews and it helps me know what is most impactful and most helpful for you as I continue to plan podcast episodes. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I look forward to seeing you back here next week for another episode of the Coaching Hive podcast, where a focus on mentoring and community removes the overwhelm of building your successful and profitable business and adds in a dose of momentum. Until next time, have a healthy, safe, and happy week.